Hi everybody, I'm Jared Pike. This is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, May 21st. On today's show, Lindy Smith tells us how having fun is good for our overall health. FineMark Bank answers the difficult question, what happens to our online accounts after we pass away? We'll also see the beautiful new sculpture out in front of the Midrises, which is actually an old sculpture with a new paint job. Stay tuned for an amazing before and after. But first, a reminder that this weekend is Memorial Day. Shell Point's offices will be closed on Monday to commemorate the holiday. But there's another way you can remember your military heroes. Take a walk through the Southwest Florida Mobile Military Museum. The museum is bringing some of its best artifacts and displays to Shell Point as part of its outreach program. It will be here tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m., parked near the bocce courts at the Woodlands. All are welcome to this free event tomorrow morning to walk through history at this mobile museum. Of course, now, in the 21st century, we have a lot more to consider when we think about those who have passed away. For example, what happens to the email account of someone who has passed away, or the credit cards, or the Facebook account? To help bring answers to these delicate digital questions, we talked to Anna Smith from FineMark Bank.
Hello, I'm Anna Smith, Managing Executive with FineMark National Bank and Trust. In today's FineMark Minute, we're talking about what happens to your digital accounts and passwords when you pass away. In today's digital age, most of us live at least part of our lives online. Whether it's through email, Facebook, or online banking, you likely have a number of password-protected accounts that will have to be dealt with in the event of your death or incapacity. For the most part, websites, blogs, and registered domain names are transferable under standard property and copyright laws. However, certain online accounts like email and social media accounts may not be transferable depending upon the site's terms of service. Terms of service vary widely from site to site. Some sites will allow a person with the appropriate legal authority to access your accounts upon your death. Others will put your accounts in a memorial state or permanently delete your account upon proper notification of your death. The most important step you can take to protect your digital assets is to include them in your estate plan. Your first step should be to identify and inventory all of your digital assets. Make a list of where they are located and how they are accessed. Next, indicate what you wish to happen to your digital assets and who will be responsible for carrying out those wishes. If you have a privacy concern surrounding your digital assets, a number of online websites securely store all of this information and allow you to leave legacy instructions for a designated beneficiary or executor. But before making any decisions, it's a good idea to speak with your estate planner. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by FineMark National Bank and Trust on the island or call us at 461-5999. With today's FineMark Minute, I'm Anna Smith.
Here's another delicate issue that may need addressing. Can single people eat at the Crystal Room? Don't laugh, it's a legitimate issue. If you are a single person, it may be a little intimidating to think about going to the Crystal Room and sitting by yourself. That's why we've established a singles table at the Crystal Room. Every Monday and Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., people gather to enjoy a wonderful meal together. Now, it's not designed to match people up. It's just a way for single people to socialize and enjoy the company of others while partaking in a wonderful meal. For more information, call the Crystal Room at 454-2199. Of course, your parents told you don't play with your food. But actually, and this is a scientific proof now, it's been shown that having fun with everyday items like plates and cups can actually have a significant positive health benefit. How? Well, you can find out from Lindy Smith, who is teaching a class called The Health Benefits of Having Fun. It happens next Wednesday, May 28th at 10:15 a.m. in the Social Center. Mary Franklin has this preview.
We cover some pretty serious topics around here, but this Health Connection program is bound to be loads of fun. It's with Lindy Smith, and it's the health benefits of having fun. It's going to take place in the Social Center on Wednesday, May 28th at 10:15 a.m. Now, you may know Lindy from Nordic Walking. A lot of people call you, Lindy, the Nordic Walking Queen of Shell Point.
That's right.
But you have many talents. You do, as everybody knows, have many certifications in the exercise arena, but you are also a Toastmaster.
I am. I'm an advanced speaker, and I've been a Toastmaster since around 2003.
We usually don't put health benefits and fun all in the same category, and when you specifically think of exercise, sometimes our mind goes straight to that sweaty, grueling, go to the gym, but that's not the case.
That's why it should be functional. Because exercise can be fun. It doesn't matter if you're in your own chair in your own living room or part of a group. But I didn't just forget to clean up from lunch here. These are some props that I'm going to bring along to show that people have things in their house to make functional fitness fun.
Right, so you have some cloth napkins, paper towels, paper plates, and cans of corn, but they have to come to find out how you can exercise with these.
It is wonderful that we're able to use household items and be comfortable in a chair or standing up, maybe during commercial breaks or when we're waiting for that spin cycle or your popcorn is popping in the microwave. It's one of the nice things about functional fitness is that it is fun when you're on the go. Right. It doesn't have to be in big chunks of time. It can be 5 minutes here, 8 minutes there. Okay. And just incorporating it into our daily life makes life a lot more fun.
Right. And exercising isn't just good for us physically, it's also good for us psychologically. It kicks in those endorphins.
That's right. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, and psychologically. Moving, especially moving with intent, has a great deal of power on the way we feel about ourselves.
Right. Gotta use it or lose it, right?
That's right, that's right.
And you shared with me before there was a Mayo Clinic study that if over the age of 50, if you're sedentary, you lose 0.4% of your muscles every year. So we really need to use it.
Yes,
right?
Yes, it's true. And it's also a very strong connection to your brain. When you're moving and you're thinking about assembling props and you're actually using the props, you're engaging more than your muscles. You're using your head muscle too.
Right.
But the best thing about functional fitness is, like I said, you can do it on the go. Right. Nobody has to tell you to be in your kitchen at 8:45 in the morning and assemble props. This is something I'm going to teach people to do by themselves when they feel like doing it and having a good time.
Right. And at their own speed, at their own pace, and not feeling like they're looking in the mirror and so-and-so's doing something double time and they're doing it single time. They can just do it at their own pace and work up. I know I got a tip one time, and I actually now, every time I go into the dryer, I squat down to get it. Instead of leaning at my waist, squat, get a little exercise, and you get a couple squats in there.
Well, Mary, you and I were talking about posture before we started filming, and right now you and I are exercising our core right now. This is part one of what I'm going to talk about, is the way we sit. And then you're right, the functional fitness around the house really does make a difference in the way you feel about yourself, and also the movements help, let's say, getting in and out of a car, or maybe reaching for something on a shelf. We're going to be doing some resistance work that helps with some muscle tone, and all of these things, like I said, over time. You don't have to be buff. You don't have to work on something that you want results in a week. This is an ongoing process that I myself use.
Right. But you're going to give tips that anybody can use. So somebody who's already taking classes 3 or 4 times a week, this is something in addition they can do. And for someone who hasn't done anything for a while, there's going to be something for them to do as well.
That's right. Even if someone is sedentary, I encourage them to approach this presentation with an open mind and even just sit there and audit. Not even participate, but just sit there and get the information and then take it home and use it at home.
Right, and you never know, health benefits can come just from coming to your class.
Absolutely.
You'll definitely be smiling and having a good time if you attend Lindy's class on Wednesday, May 28th, 10:15 a.m. in the Social Center. I'm Mary Franklin along with Lindy Smith. Have a happy and healthy day.
If you live in the Midrises on the island, or regularly walk by there, you've probably seen this fountain with its centerpiece bronze sculpture of herons. It's a beautiful sculpture, but as you can see by the chipping paint, the elements have not been kind over the years. Artist Debra Rhoads and her husband Charlie were brought in to completely strip the sculpture to the bronze and give it a paint job. Well, she did more than that. She transformed the sculpture into a vibrant, colorful work of art, almost bringing the herons to life. We talked to the Rhoads to learn how they did it.
This is what I've wanted to do my whole life. My mom would keep pencil and paper in her pocket and to keep me occupied, you know, because I just loved it. When I was 12, I had he was a neighbor. I went over there every Saturday and he taught me how to paint in oils. I didn't paint for many, many years after that, and then picked it up when I was older. I love birds, the Florida birds, any birds, and I love the fish and anything with color, and I just really enjoy painting the beautiful birds here in Florida. It's just fun. Growing up, I thought I was going to be painting sceneries, you know, landscapes and everything, but I started painting birds and I couldn't stop. I have a lot of my artwork in Wild Child Gallery, Art Gallery in Matlacha, and they actually came to the owner, which is Peggy, and she recommended me because I love birds. and I also paint on sculptures, and so she recommended me. When we first saw it, it was very sad. It needed some TLC. The paint was coming off a lot. It was really in need of a change. So my husband Charlie and I came over and we water blasted it with high pressure water hose and got all the paint off, and it didn't take all of the paint off, so he and I had to scrub it with vinegar, believe it or not, and a steel brush, and we did that for a day and a half. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. But I was so excited about getting to painting it that, we were here last Wednesday until 7:30 at night, didn't go home till 9, so we had a really long day. We scrubbed it really good and then put it's like a wash primer, and then we had to let it sit, and then we put the white primer on, and then I was able to paint on. I was all excited. I just studied it, and then I know what birds, the blue herrings look like, so, but I did print out a lot of the blue herrings so that I can get it pretty accurate. I'm a realist painter, so I want it to look like they should. They had them paint them, it was pretty white, and the plumage was a little different, and then they had yellow legs, and they don't have yellow legs. They have gray legs. The sculpture is so beautiful, and the way it was painted before, you really couldn't see the feathers and how he sculpted them. They're just beautiful. So I wanted to make sure that their feathers stood out, and when I get to their face, I want to make sure that you'd be able to see the feathers around its face, and That's important. On my paintings, I really work hard on the feathers because they have so many colors, and they're just beautiful. So it'll be 7-8 days, I believe, for the painting. My husband and I will come back and put the sealer on it. We're going to probably put 3 coats on, and then we have to let it sit underneath the cover for a day, and then we'll take the cover off and it'll be ready to go. Talking to the residents, they tell me all about all the beautiful creatures that live around here, you know. And I'm not talking about the residents, but the birds and the manatees, and you know, it's really neat. You have to love what you do, and I love it.
Coming up in just a few minutes, it's Village Church Connections. Now, just as we went on hiatus recently, the Village Church also has had to shake up their locations due to the summer-long renovation of their church building. Just as a reminder, Sunday morning services are at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. But the evening services are held on the island at the Social Center. Sunday nights at 6:15 and Wednesday nights at 7:15 p.m. in the Social Center. Pastor Andy Hawkins will have more to say about that in just a minute. But first, it's happenings.
I'm Bev Chandley, and this is Leslie Brand, and we're going to go over the activities that we offer here at Shell Point today. We're going to start out bright and early at 7:45 with the men's Bible study in the Osprey Room on the island. 8:45 is the time you'll find Lily and Company Jewelers here for their weekly jewelry service in the Resident Activity Center. And at 9 o'clock, Jurassic Travel will be at the Egret Room, also in the Resident Activity Center. At 9 o'clock, we have the men's match play, doubles tennis going on at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. We have a 9 o'clock watercolor group with Phil Hilton going on down in the Art Studio. Card making and scrapbooking group will be in the Tarpon Room at 9:15. And then 10 o'clock is the time the ladies' Bible study will be gathering in the Osprey Room on the island. The Model Yacht Sailing Club will be sailing their boats at the Woodlands Commons Lake at 10:15. Then at 11 o'clock we have the Neuropathy Support Group. That'll be held in the Oak Room of the Woodlands. At 11:30 we have a Health Connections class, Agility and Flexibility. That's in the Health Club, and that's currently full. Take it away, Leslie.
Well, Bev, we're going to start our afternoon activities at 1 o'clock with chess in the Library Lounge. Also at 1 o'clock, we have a Health Connections skin cancer screening in the Oak Room. 1:45, Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 1 in the Health Club. That class is currently full. 2:15, Knitters Anonymous will meet in the Osprey Room. Jazz and Stuff will be in the Grand Cypress Room at 2:30. 3 o'clock, Bible study in the community room of King's Crown. 3 o'clock, Health Connections, Pilates Stretch in the Health Club. Also at 3 o'clock is the Memory Care Group, the Behavioral Health/Medical Center on the island. Sign up is required. 4:30 is the Indoor Bocce in the Health Club. And 7:15, Prayer and Praise will be in the Social Center on the island. Thank you for tuning in with us today, the happening segment of Shell Point TV, and we hope you have a great rest of your day today.
Hi, I'm Terry Coleth with your information for the Academy on Wednesday. At 10 o'clock, Lincoln Logs and Legos will take place in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Sign-up is required. At 1:30, our Experiencing Colored Pencil Painting class continues in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. And at 1:45, our Basic Prep School computer class continues in the Computer Teaching Center on the island.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is a baked pork chop with mushroom cream sauce and mashed potatoes and asparagus. The dinner special is the pasta buffet for $12.95, and the soup of the day is chicken Florentine. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Wednesday, the special is a chicken tender wrap with onion rings for $7.25. The dinner special is fried shrimp for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Wednesday are grilled swordfish for $17.95 or chicken Maryland for $19.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here to tell you about a very special journey that we're engaged in on Sunday evenings during the months of May and June. It is a journey that actually spans about 2,000 years. It's a journey that gives us a glimpse of church history. And it's a history that is enriching our understanding of who we are as believers in Jesus Christ. Because, you know, we never really know who we are without knowing where we've come from. We're using a video series featuring noted church historian Dr. Timothy George, and then we're following it up with some biblical instruction on the major theological issues and themes that characterized particular periods of church history. And it's really been insightful so far. Well, this Sunday evening we have progressed up to the period of the Reformation, and it is one of the great thresholds of church history, a period which actually defines a great deal of our Christian landscape even to this day. We'll learn about the significance of a whole host of characters like Martin Luther and John Calvin and Ulrich Zwingli, and the Anabaptists, characters who in many respects were larger than life, but at the same time they had their warts, as we all do. And we'll learn about the intersection of religion and politics during that time period as well. And if you thought it is complicated in our day, just wait till you see how things unfolded during the Reformation. We'll learn about the major theological issues that caused one of the great divides that has lasted in Christendom for more than 500 years. Well, if you're a Christian from any of the major Protestant denominations like the Lutherans or the Baptists or the Presbyterians or the Methodists, you trace your roots to the Reformation. And in some sense, then, you are a child of the Reformation. And if you're Roman Catholic, you should come and discover what the fuss was all about. And as I've studied the church history over the years, I've learned that there is no golden age of church history when the church got everything right. Church history was always messy, as usually history is always messy. But ultimately, working through the issues and difficulties is worth it. And that's because Jesus Christ is worth it. After all, he lived a life we could not live, and he died in our place for our sins and was raised again and sits at the right hand of the Father. And for those who have trusted in the finished work of Jesus Christ for salvation, he hasn't left us alone. He has put us in a fellowship of other believers. He's put us in a church that is never perfect, indeed far from it, but a church nonetheless. So I think it's always an encouragement to see where we've been historically, so we might chart a course that is more and more pleasing to God. Help us to learn something from our mistakes of the past and the successes of the past. And so I hope that you'll join us on Sunday evenings as we consider church history, and particularly this Sunday evening as we study the Reformation period of church history. We're in the Social Center at 6:15 p.m. this Sunday evening. We hope to see you soon.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow for a special focus on assisted living, how the Friday afternoon Vesper services meet the spiritual needs of residents in the Kings Crown, Arbor, and Springs. And how all assisted living residents got together last week to throw a luau party at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, May 21st. I'm Jared Pike, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.